G-Unit was not for the faint of heart. Being down with the unit meant that you were prepared to shoot and get shot at. It wasn't always about kicking dope rhymes. Today we're gonna take a look at how every member in G-Unit almost lost their life. By every member, I mean the 5 main guys: 50, Buck, Game, Banks, and Yayo. So at this point in time, I think it's safe to assume that everyone's heard about 50's infamous near-death experience. If there's anyone out there who doesn't know what I'm talking about, just remember that 50 Cent was shot 9 times outside his grandma's house in the year 2000. He survived, and he's still walking around talking hellish shit in 2024. It's game time now. Pun was definitely intended with that one. We're gonna take a look at the Game's near-death experience. On October 1st, 2001, Game was shot 5 times during a home invasion at his dope spot that left him in a coma for a few weeks.
So I just closed my eyes and I was like, I really told myself, like literally told myself, I was like, damn, so this is it. But I wasn't scared of nothing. I wasn't scared. I didn't have no fear. I didn't feel like I was gonna miss nothing. I didn't have no children yet, so I didn't really have nothing to hold on to. Me and my mom's relationship was strained. Me and my pop's relationship was strained. And so all I had was a few little chicks and my little sidekick that I probably was gonna miss. But other than that, I was about to say my peace with God and just, I didn't expect to make it out of that.
Following the recovery process, Game finally came to the understanding that gangbanging and selling drugs couldn't be his main priorities anymore. There was more focus put on his music, and he was determined more than ever to make it out of Compton, no matter what. In 2003, Dr. Dre signed Game to Aftermath, but later put him with 50 Cent to make up the West Coast division of G-Unit. Regardless of what you think about the Game, I don't agree with everything he does, by the way, but there's no debating his rapping ability, his body of work, his place in not only West Coast hip-hop, but hip-hop as a whole. Next up, we got Young Buck, Cashville, Tennessee. In the year 2000, Buck was shot multiple times during a home invasion, just like Game at his dope spot. The shooting was so severe that Buck needed a blood transfusion.
I'm watching the walls fly off and shit, and he was just spraying in the house, And I remember to this very day, I don't know why my prayer was that. I didn't pray to say, Lord, don't let me get shot, or Lord, don't let me die. I was actually asking God, Lord, please don't let me get hit in the head. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was just saying, Lord, please don't let me, to myself.
There's just something about getting clapped up that makes people want to do better. I hate to say it, but it almost turns into a positive. Buck stayed working to the point where 50 Cent took notice. He was featured on the Bloodhound track on Get Rich or Die Trying, and later joined G-Unit in 2003, making up the Southern division of the crew. Straight Outta Cashville is one of the coldest albums ever. I still bump it today. In hip-hop, when we talk about some of the greatest Southern rappers, I have no idea why Buck is often left out, cause he got one of the craziest pens. Speaking of that crazy penmanship, we definitely can't forget about the great Lloyd Banks. On September 10th, 2001, Banks was shot twice while he was leaving a nightclub in Southside Jamaica, Queens.
I was hurt pretty bad, you know what I mean? Like the basically said, if I would have got there a couple minutes later, I could have, died from blood loss, you know what I mean? But I felt like it wasn't over for me, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I kept saying, like, man, just stitch my shit up, let me go, you know what I mean? We about to go on tour. You feel what I'm saying?
While Banks was in recovery, the very next morning, the whole world woke up to news of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The timing of all of those events was just wild, man. It was almost like an unpredictable horror movie. But let's keep it going though. So Banks had been around 50 and Yayo damn near his whole life. He was the youngest in the crew and always had a lot to prove. From all of the G-Unit mixtapes to the Hunger for More, the course of the Inevitable series, I always felt like Banks' verses always stood out the most. Maybe I'm being a little biased, but I've never heard a verse from Banks and I was like, alright, this shit is trash. I want you guys to get in the comment section if you agree with me, and also let me know what your favorite song from Lloyd Banks is. Last and definitely not least, we got one of the most loyal human beings in history, Tony Yayo. Out of the main 5 G-Unit members, Yayo was the only one who has never been shot, although he's been shot at a bunch of times. Yayo's been in shootouts over dice games, he's been at parties that got shot up, his cars got shot up. It's a real blessing that he's never been hit, despite all of those close calls. He's been a soldier though, you know what I'm saying? We can't be shocked, and he's clearly always aware of his surroundings. I gotta shout out Power Book 3 Raising Kanan, one of my favorite shows, because we know that even if a person survives, the streets need a body, and you might not always be able to protect your loved ones.
When the beef comes to your family, your mother, your sister,
Right.
and you're like your family's in danger, houses are getting shot up.
Yeah.
People don't know how real it is.
Yeah.
You can't sleep at night without having a gun next to you. You got fucking street anxiety.
G-Unit was comprised of a bunch of soldiers that were really like that. They were out there putting in work just to feed their families, and they were prepared to die in the process way before being a rapper was ever a serious possibility. I'm not trying to glorify the streets. I've always felt like, yes, 50 has amazing songwriting skills, Banks' punchlines, Game's storytelling, Bucks' energy, Yayo's loyalty, they were all very unique, sold a bunch of records, all that. But the authenticity is what separated G-Unit from so many other groups. I want you guys to get in the comment section and let me know where you would rank G-Unit all time in hip hop. That is gonna be it for the video, guys. I am very appreciative of everybody who stayed and watched. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at I am Hurrikane Isaac 95. I'm gone. Peace.